Okay, now we're on a roll. Angel Hicks here, CEO and founder of Evolve Women's Network, and you are in our literary circle where we are going to cover Girl Wash Your Face by Rachel Hollis. And of course, Rachel is a world-renowned now speaker and book writer. And so this is the second book that we've done with Rachel. And so in this book, this is kind of the book summary. So she really wants to inspire women to take their lives into their own hands. And this book covers kind of the lies that we tell ourselves or that we've been told throughout our lives. And really, she wants to really encourage women to take control of their own lives, get rid of the lies that we've been told or the lies that we're believing and telling ourselves, and really wants to teach us how to control our own life and our own happiness. So she really shares advice in this book on how to push past all of your excuses and start really living a more productive, happier, ambitious life. So the 3 points, oh gosh, the 3 points that we're going to talk about today are one, build the habit of keeping your promises to yourself. Rather than fighting over a river of a chaotic home and life, learn to embrace it, which I just had to do, and I'm going to tell a story about that. And then visualize your dreams and focus on them in detail to really stay motivated towards what you're doing. Motivation is so fleeting. Sometimes we have it and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we wake up ready to take on the world and then all hell breaks loose and then we're like deflated, right? So she really talks about visualizing your dreams to stay motivated when those things happen. So let's get into it. The first lesson is stop breaking promises to yourself. This is why I created Excel Accountability Group and for our members to take advantage of, because I was constantly telling myself each week, like, these are the 3 things I want to get done this week, right? And then 3 months go by, it's still not done. And I haven't really taken the time to like sit down and realize why or dig into why this thing isn't being done. Why am I breaking promises to myself? And she talks about like, if you don't think it's a big deal that you're breaking these promises to yourself, it is a big deal because you're letting yourself down every time you don't follow through, right? And then you're what I call, pardon my French, so this is not safe for work, but the itty bitty shitty committee. Okay, the mean girl in between your ears will start to rear her ugly head, and all she needs is just the tiniest bit of motivation to really wreck your entire mindset about what you've done. So every time you break a promise to yourself, you damage your confidence. Okay, your negative self-talk gets a boost, right? And then you're no longer a woman of your word, and that is stressful in itself. So she just talks about like making sure that when you tell yourself you're going to do something, that you follow through and actually do it. That is going to boost your confidence and knowing that you are a woman of your word. The second thing that we're going to talk about is embrace the chaos. So many of you know that, last summer in July, my grandson moved in. He's just turned 1 a couple weeks ago. So he was about 6 months old with his mom, and she is 23. And my world just completely like the chaos. I mean, they still live here, but we're like moving towards that, move out date. And it is chaotic all the time. So she talks about really, you think that this chaos, and it's not really just mothers either, it's fathers, it's grandparents, it's caretakers, it's the grown-ups in that kid's life, right? And it really, you think about it as like a sign of failure, like there's chaos everywhere, my house is a wreck, like, whatever. In reality, whether you're a mom or a stay-at-home parent or whatever, chaos is just a part of it, right? And so I had to really, in the end of December, I said, I've got to get control of this because otherwise I'm not going to move forward. I'm stressed out all the time, thinking that my day is going to go one way and then the chaos sets in and then I shame myself. And it was like this big cycle. So really, she says, just embrace the chaos, right? Do your top 3 things She doesn't talk about this, but this is just what I learned. I do my top 3 things first thing in the morning. So if I have to post on social media, get into my group, whatever it is, right? Do payouts, whatever it is, do those 3 things. Then if your afternoon blows up, then at least you still got those main 3 things done. She talks about why you can't control everything. The thing you can control is yourself, right? And how you react. My husband always says, like, you're not defined by what happens to you, you're defined by how you react and or respond. So instead of swimming against the current, just go with it. Just go with it, right? As much as you can, as best as you can. Kids need you to pick them up. They forgot their lunch. You got to do the thing. Just roll with it and do as best you can. The third thing she says is the best way to get through it with sanity is to not take things too seriously. And this was a big one I had to learn. Like, I have got to start just laughing at the chaos, laughing at this 1-year-old that is running through my house, does not play with his toys, but gets into my kitchen stuff all the time. Measuring cups are his thing. So, you just embrace it and you move on and you do the best you can. So I thought that was really encouraging. The third thing she talks about is for consistent motivation, you have to visualize what you're looking to accomplish. Okay. And we know this, we've gone through this in many books in this group about motivation and your dreams and visualization. We just did a vision board workshop a couple weeks ago for our members. So if you want to achieve something, visualizing it. So she talks about a Louis Vuitton bag. Okay, this Louis Vuitton bag is over $1,000. I don't know if this is the particular bag. Okay, I just found one that was around $1,000, and that was it. And she said, as soon as I get a $10,000 client, then I'm going to go out and buy this bag. It took her years to get there, right? Years. But as soon as she signed that $10,000 client, she went right down to Louis Vuitton and bought the bag. So she talks about like visualizing something specific instead of saying, I want to be rich, right? Because that's kind of a loose term. And it's, what's rich to me might be different than rich to you. So she probably would have gotten overwhelmed, she said, and just given up. But when it was specific, right? And we know SMART goals, we went over that too. We know that it helps you drive you to that goal. When you can visually see what you're working towards, it makes all of that time and energy more tangible. Okay, so next time you set a goal, try to make it, of course, realistic. We know that. And tangible as you can. She said, write it down. Write down what it is you want, what you're working towards, how you're going to feel when you get it, right? And include all the details that you can. You want to put it out, which is why the vision boards are so important. You want to see it, you want to feel it, you want to touch it, you want to be able to keep that motivation when you're unmotivated. So she says, understand that you choose your own happiness and you have control of your own life, right? And we know that like outside circumstances, obviously, we're married, we have kiddos, we have family members, we have dogs. I mean, Jana's with some dogs, like dogs, and there's all kinds of outside influences that can come into our lives. And of course, but we have control over how those things affect us and whether or not we're going to be happy. It's no one else's job to make us happy. It's no one else's job to make us fulfilled. That is all for us, right? Our responsibility. So she says, identify and systematically destroy every lie you've ever told yourself. And in this book, there are like 12 chapters of lies that people have told her, or that the lie, someone else will make me happy, I'll start tomorrow, I'm not good enough, I'm going to marry Matt Damon, which I thought was funny. She did not marry Matt Damon, by the way. I need a drink, there's only one right way to be, and I need a hero. And so all these 13 chapters of these lies, she talks about just systematically breaking those down and changing the tape. So in this book, of course, kind of the main points is recognize the lies that we believe and change the narrative. Self-awareness is one of the most important skills, and I've always told my daughters and my son, I have 4 daughters and a son, self-awareness is one of the greatest gifts you'll ever receive in your lifetime, but you are the only one that can give it to you. And then live an unapologetic, excuse-free life because you're the one that's in control. So let's get into our breakouts. And if you're watching this on replay, I highly encourage you to take these breakout questions and write them in your journal or take a few minutes just to kind of think through some of these things. So one, if you could pinpoint one lie about yourself that you have accepted as truth, what would it be and why? Why did you accept that as truth? Number 2, what is one thing you do to accept the chaos when it comes into your day? What kinds of things do you do to just accept it? And then do you find it easy to get back to focus? I do not. It takes me like 20 minutes to get back to like what I was doing. But if you think you could improve, what do you think you could do to improve your confidence? And did any of these tips resonate with you? So I hope this was helpful and you enjoyed the book, and we will see you next time.